Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm very happy and excited to share with you some facts about crypto, money, and civilization. So let's get started right away. So first of all, permit me share some of this my personal quotes, and I purposely designed this following the points that I put together in this presentation. Keep at the back of your mind that resistance to change is rather for comfort than purpose. But change itself is about purpose than comfort or feelings. The next one, I believe, in my opinion, a typical man is an animal. Everything that a civilized man is a product of change. So keep that at the back of your mind. Change is something that we need to welcome. Everyone likes to be anxious about the future. And the last one, everyone who resists change bases on their past. But everyone is anxious about the future. Think about that. It sounds ironical, right? So let's dive right into it. So first of all, a little bit about history of money and civilization. You know, the first signs of money was metal, and through my sources that I got, uh, I learned that what we call spade was actually modified and used as a sign, as a tool, as money. The first signs of the existence of money, and then came these coins, and this is the most polished one that we know today. But of course, we also have banknotes. So follow with me, you will see some the trend in the evolution of money and civilization, how you see the compatibility for yourself. First of all, this period here, I call it the medieval period. During this period, follow the history, the trend, and the civilization. During this period, when we use the metal, before this period, prior to this period even, we had there was what we call trade by barter, which almost everyone already knows about that. Trade by barter simply means you have your goods, I have my goods, I have something that you don't have, you have something that I don't have, and we just need to exchange, and we decide how much quantity is the equivalence, and then we make the swap. That was it, trade by barter. If I have sugar and I need tea, you have tea, so I can give you some amount of sugar and you give me some amount of tea, and then everyone has tea to drink. Then came the period when they decided that they will use receipts, some form of representation of money or value of commodities. They were using receipts before the metal actually came into place. And the first signs of metal was what I just shared with you there. They call it a spade or whatever. So let's proceed. Remember, this is the medieval period. And the next period here, I call it uh, the industrial age. You follow the trend of civilization and you see what money they use during that period. It just makes sense. There's a lot of compatibility here again. You see metal to metal with the coins. And then came the internet period. At the dawn of internet, uh, these banknotes, to distinguish genuine notes from fake notes, you have to scan. So internet help in that kind of processing in those areas. Uh, but then again, I see some compatibility there with that generation or that era between the currency, the symbol of the currency at that period, and the trend in civilization. After this period came the next age, which I call the artificial intelligence period, where money now, you can simply represent money as a byte on the computer storage. So think about during the artificial intelligence age, think about robots, Alexa, social media market, Amazon, YouTubing, Facebook market, and many, many other online. Of course, after the pandemic, how much we have shifted from our way of doing business. A lot of businesses are all online, and see the compatibility here. Why crypto, I think, is something maybe for the future, I don't know, but we all are going to decide. But the point I'm trying to bring here is the trend in the civilization and the form of money. I think crypto is more compatible with this money in form of bytes. Think about, you want to buy on Amazon and you have to use banknotes. First, you have to go through that verification of information, your bank account and all those things. How much time is it taking out of our lives for every single transaction? Or you're dealing with Alexa and those other robots. Or if you even go an era back to dealing with the period or the era of metals, think of the compatibility. The issue, the trend I'm trying to bring here is the compatibility with the coin, so that you see the distinction and you make some analysis for yourself. But the whole point is, every standard currency that we have today came into existence because of the acceptability. So first, there was need for standardization of money. Every specific region or country had their own currency. For example, US had the US dollars. In Europe, they have the euro. But first, the concept of currency, we call it lex monetae. Lex monetae, it stated that every sovereign state will decide what currency they want to use. So there was a lot of currencies, just like today we have tons of cryptocurrencies around there. But to remove confusion, they decided to use this international organization for standardization. They introduced this system of a 3-letter code to represent money. That's why you have like euro, for example, US dollar. They have those 3-letter symbol. So that is a standardization to remove confusion. So, but a question I put to you here is, as you follow me along, can standardization be done to crypto? If it could, would it be done? That is a question I cannot answer, and I believe you cannot answer, but I know together we have an answer to that. If we decide to accept it, it will be done. Money, the standard currency today, imagine when from trade by barter, how many people actually accepted and how long it took for it to be accepted, if not for regulations. So there's control put in place that made that acceptability, and that control came in the form of through central banks, in the form of policies that they put in place. So the central banks, for example, decide how much they want to issue outside the coins, the banknotes, how many banknotes will be printed. So, but the question I keep asking here, who calls the shot? Is it US dollars that they're printing? Is it euro? Who calls the shots? When to print them and how much to print? And how much control do they have over those controllers who print that money actually? So a lot of questions that we don't know. So keep that at the back of your mind. I'm going to make a comparison between crypto and the current, the standard currency, so you can see. Here are some factors that I consider for analysis. The first one, we talk about scam with crypto. I want us to understand scam existed before crypto ever came into place. So it doesn't matter what kind of currency. So this is not something that is associated only to crypto. However, because it's not yet regulated, it's not accepted, there's a lot of uncertainty around. So there is more chances that people may get scammed moving from through one brokerage to another because they don't know a lot about it. So, but it's not something that is related to crypto. And it's not a get rich quick system or opportunity, as some people may think. Thinking about complexity. Complexity of crypto. Is crypto really complex? I don't know, but there are some complex algorithms that are used in the computer, but who cares about them? How much do you know about the computer? Same thing with the standard currency that we have today. If you think that crypto is complex, do you need to know everything about crypto? As long as it's money and everyone accepts it, life goes around. So, but with the standard currency, the point I want to make is, how much do you really know about standard currency? What are the materials they use in printing the money? How much money they print? When do they print? How many times a year do they print? All these questions, can anybody answer? We don't know. So there's also complexity everywhere. So it's not something associated or linked only to crypto alone. The next point about acceptability again points to regulation. About before the first sign of money that those metals were used, Can you imagine how many people would not accept it in the first place? So when something is new, the acceptability is very, very low. But when regulations got into place, it became more, and the more we know about, the more we accept it. It's simple. So accepting crypto or not is based on how we decide as a legislation, as a people, that we want to use it or we choose not to use it. So this shouldn't be tagged to crypto. Volatility, again, volatility existed in the market, it will still exist, and I can guarantee you it will exist tomorrow and forever. When there is uncertainty, there's bound to be volatility. Those who invest in stocks, they will tell you that. They know much about this. So crypto today behaves exactly like in the stock market you're investing. But I can tell you, if it is regulated and everyone is using it today, the volatility will drop down. It doesn't mean that it will go away. It will drop down. Because of uncertainty, that's why it's going down. Another point I want to make is the fact that crypto is going down. You see, all the economy is going down everywhere. Almost every country, the global economy is in a kind of very unstable state. So there's a lot of uncertainty. But the point I want to bring here is, should crypto be going down? Something that is not even regulated, why is it going down so much? Most crypto are tagged to the existing currencies. Just, I believe, in my personal opinion, for acceptability, it has to be tagged with some reference that people know. For example, I'll take Bitcoin. Bitcoin is tagged to the US dollar. So what will happen if the US dollar is going down and Bitcoin is tagged to the US dollar? What, in your opinion, will happen to Bitcoin and any other coin that is tagged to it? So also another thing I want to point there, US dollar has been tagged for ages to gold. The value of gold is the value of gold. It never goes anywhere. The reserves of gold remain the same. But however, if US dollar is going down, it's not going to change the amount of reserve of gold that is out there. So if you tag something to a reference that is steady or stable, so volatility will reduce as well. So volatility, again, here you see, is not something that is associated to crypto. Any currency that you take, is bound to have volatility. Traceability, again, crypto, there's issue about traceability. We can understand there's a lot of exchanges or brokers that are not yet regulated today. So it makes sense that there is some issue with traceability. Or we talk about anonymity, which I'm going to cover that as well. With the current standard currency today, these issues are not completely zero. They're also present, but because we have regulations in place, they appear not to be there, but that which is not true. With traceability, if you want to trace anybody in the standard system, yes, you can trace through the banks and so on. And there's also an issue with that, which I may visit along the presentation. But the point is, if crypto is regulated today, just like the standard currency is regulated, then we can talk apple to apple comparison. You know what I mean? So it's not also associated or linked only to crypto. But however, there is an advantage on crypto because most people have issues with the privacy of their information. So with crypto, you must know address of somebody before you send your money to them. It's very unique, and you decide when you want to send without the knowledge of any other person. So this traceability is a big topic to cover. It's a relative word. That's all I can say for that. But this is not something that is linked only to crypto. That's the whole point. Anonymity, again there. How anonymous can you be with crypto versus with standard currency? Again, when you have regulations in place, if you follow those regulations, I can trace who is making what transaction, where and when. With crypto, you cannot do that because, first of all, there are no rules, there are no regulations in place. So it makes sense. It's hard to make a comparison here. But however, it does exist. I'll say anonymity, you can treat that as an advantage to people who take it, or you can treat it as a disadvantage depending on who is looking at it. To the government or the banks, they may look at it as a problem. But to the people who want total independence and to get out of control, they will choose to like that. So It's a neutral evaluation. It's not a recommendation or a discouragement. Cost and fees. This is my key point here. This is when I talk about the first quote. You remember the quote at the beginning of this presentation. I talk about if you are resisting change, you are only thinking about your feelings today and your comfort rather than purpose. If you think about purpose, you start asking questions like, what is the service? What am I going to gain from here? As opposed to, it's not something that I know. I'm not used to this. You know what I mean? So crypto has drastically reduced cost of exchanging money and also exchanging goods, which is the principal. You want to exchange goods, now you first have to exchange currency before you actually do the exchange of goods. You want to buy something, you need that thing. You're not looking for exchanging currencies. But these are extra costs that will add up to the commodity. And crypto is here to take away all of that, because you can send your money. It doesn't matter, somebody in India, in China, wherever they may be, you can pay even a crypto that exists in that region, and you send directly to their address, put the money in their bank. So that's a big relief versus standard currency, which there's a lot of cost with that. I don't need to tell anybody about that. Let's talk a little bit about inflation. When it comes to inflation, crypto brings a lot of advantages to that. You know, you can name as many causes to inflation as you may, but here's one thing that stands out very clear. I talk about who calls the shots, how much money should be printed, when it should be printed, and how often should it be printed. With the standard currency, with cryptocurrency, these things disappear like they vanish instantly. Not to say that there wouldn't be inflation, but this is a significant factor and something that is under the control of a few people, and they use this control to do a lot of damage, which crypto is really here to relieve all of that. Think about purpose. So the next one, control. I love this one. As somebody who comes from a third world country, Africa to be specific, this economic independence, a country will think that they are independent. If they're not economically independent, they are not independent. And crypto has a very huge potential for those third world countries. You guys better consider this and start drafting your policies around this. Will I recommend crypto to anybody? Who am I to do that? But I'm talking about purpose here, don't forget. Look at what it can do to you, not how you feel about it. So here are some points that I gathered as advantages and disadvantages of crypto across the internet. Advantages, I don't need to go into those, but I highlighted the last point here: no inflation, speed of transaction, very fast speed of exchange, economic independence. These are very huge benefits if you think about the purpose rather than how you feel about it. And even the points that are put across as disadvantages, like I highlighted to you, these are not unique things linked to cryptocurrency, whether it's standard currency or crypto. The total amount of currencies across the globe, there's 180 with standard currency. Imagine 180, even with regulations. Today we have about 19,000, maybe more, and still growing. 19,000 cryptocurrencies. The question I will ask here is, with regulation, how many of these cryptos do you think will survive? Of course, this number would go down drastically too with regulations. So if we didn't have regulations for the standard currency, I wonder how many thousands of them will be existing today. So here are some points that I think you need to take away from here. Need to know standard currencies versus cryptocurrency. Need to know points. The first one is that money is money. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter how you feel. Money is money, whether it's a cryptocurrency or the standard currency. The concept of money is for standardization of exchange of commodities. You have to understand your risk before you get into any investment, whether with standard currency or with crypto. The same rules apply. Understand your own risk, and when you understand your risk, you need to own it definitely. You have to own your tolerance, your risk tolerance. You cannot go to a broker or to any currency, cryptocurrency exchange, you want them to trade for you. When you make money, you want them to give you the money. If you lose money, you still want them to give you your money. Does that even make sense? So learn to own your risk. First of all, understand and size your risk, and then own it. So think about investment long term. Don't do one-time hit, like hit and run, you get rich quick scam and all of those things. Think long term, because there's volatility all the time. There's inflation. Economy is never steady. So, but if you go long term, doesn't matter those up and down. On average, you would make money. You will go. You will save. Invest the equivalence of your risk tolerance. When you size your risk, you invest accordingly. Don't take all your life savings and put into an investment because you want to get rich overnight. Get credible brokers. There are brokers that are credible with regulations. They follow regulations. Ask for advice. Get an advisor. Get an investor to do it for you. If you want to do by yourself, it's okay, but size your risk and you own it. No one predicts the future. So even when you go to a broker, you're not carrying all your guesswork to him. You want him to make the future for you. No, it doesn't happen. This works whether it's standard currency or cryptocurrency. Evolution, I'm almost ending here. Evolution is a force. If you work with universal forces, you always outlast. Universal forces, they win all the time. All the time. It doesn't matter how you feel about pandemic, you have to succumb. There are some rules. Universal force. I see crypto maybe in a similar way. I don't know about you, but that's just how I feel. It's evolution. It's we accepting to use it or refusing to use it that matters. The challenge about crypto is about change. It's not about the crypto. And when it comes to change, it's about control and legislation. And when we talk about legislation, it means we are looking at you. It means you have a say, you and I have a say. So crypto is us deciding whether it should exist or not exist, just like the standard currency today didn't exist in the past. Thank you for watching, and I hope to share with you more nuggets next time.